What's up, guys? Talk Movies with us here, back again for another movie review. This time we are reviewing the highly anticipated Halloween.
Halloween, of course, stars Jamie Lee Curtis. We also have Judy Greer, Andy Manichak, James Jude Courtney as the Shape, and Nick Castle, of course, returned for some of the scenes.
The OG Shape.
The OG Shape.
And of course, this one's directed by David Gordon Green, written and directed by David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, who I'm a really huge fan of.
Yes, and those two have obviously worked together on a bunch of things before.
Yeah, Eastbound and Down and stuff like that. But, you know, once we heard that they were the creative team behind the new Halloween, you know, not many people knew what to expect, us included.
Yeah.
You know, this could either go really, really well, or it could just be one big dick joke.
Yeah, and I, to be honest, was a little nervous once I saw that Blumhouse was behind it, because I feel like Blumhouse is either hit or miss. But I will say, I was thoroughly surprised with Halloween.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know, which is nobody, everybody knows, but this film takes place directly after the events of the first film, but I don't want to say directly after, 40 years after the events of the original John Carpenter Halloween.
Yeah, so this does mean that it is a direct sequel to the original, and erases everything after. We don't have Michael Myers floating down a river.
Oh, God, epicness.
And all of that good stuff.
No LL Cool J.
No.
You know? Being that this franchise means so much to so many different people, a lot of die-hard fans out there, a lot of them were very skeptical of them basically erasing the whole franchise.
Taking out the whole timeline.
So there was a lot to live up to with this Halloween film, and did this live up to the hype?
I think it did. But then again, I went in with slightly lower expectations than probably most people, and I ended up having a really great time with this movie. It was such a great throwback to the original. From the opening credits to obviously the music, John Carpenter did the whole soundtrack again. I mean, it really was an old school slasher modernized.
Exactly. It was very nice to see a nice slasher in the theaters again. You don't get many of them nowadays, many good ones.
Yeah.
And this film does a very excellent job, I will say. I think David Gordon Green did a very good job.
It was directed very well.
Well written. Danny McBride, you could definitely feel when he's in the writing process.
Yeah, there was some comedic moments. It didn't really bother me too much.
It wasn't overdone in a Danny McBride fashion,
It was really only one character and then like another like small scene, so it wasn't too bad, but you could definitely tell it was his writing.
Yeah. All right, so what is Halloween about? Because we have no idea what a movie Halloween with Michael Myers is going to be about, right?
Who's Michael Myers?
Who knows, right? What could this possibly be about? So Michael Myers has been locked away for 40 years. He finally gets a chance to escape, and what does he do? He escapes.
Of course.
So what Michael Myers doesn't know is that Laurie Strode, of course played by the great Jamie Lee Curtis, has been preparing for this day every single day for the last 40 years.
So you know how there are doomsday preppers out there? She is legit a serial killer prepper.
She's a nut job in this
Michael
movie.
Myers prepper. I mean, listen, she went through a very traumatic time. It was one night, but it obviously scarred her for the rest of her life.
Yes, it goes into how it affected just her relationships with her family and all that
Her
kind
kids,
of stuff.
and you know, now she has a granddaughter, and it really has affected her. But you know what? She's not that crazy, because Michael Myers ends up coming back.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, man.
So she's basically a MacGyver, right? She's a batshit crazy doomsday prepper MacGyver, if you will. She has her whole house rigged up.
Yeah.
Basically like Kevin McAllister, but, you know, a little bit more...
a little more high-tech.
So rolling right off of that, Jamie Lee Curtis is back after all this time, and she does a damn good job as Laurie Strode, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Laurie Strode is such an iconic character, and obviously she's the only one that could ever play her. So the fact that, you know, she was back on board to play her was just enough in its own, but she does a damn good job. She is a complete badass in this. I mean, yeah, she is a little crazy.
She's definitely nuts.
But, you know,
she has, like you said, she has
a
reason
reason
to be. Yeah.
And she ends up kicking some major butt throughout this entire movie. You know, when Michael finally does kind of make his way back, she's ready.
Oh yeah. Her daughter is also played by Judy Greer, who's pretty much plays the mom and everything, you know.
Yeah, she was kind of like my weak link for the movie. I thought the casting choice was okay, but you know, she's good. She's good.
Yeah,
she's not the best. She's not Jamie Lee Curtis, but she's decent.
She has her shining moments. I mean, she does what she needs to do. She you know.
She's there.
Yeah, she's there.
So Andy Manichak does a really great job. I think she was great if this is her first major motion picture. And overall the cast was, you know, they were really good.
Yeah, they were really good. I mean, the one guy that I really wasn't a fan of is they kind of have like this new Dr. Loomis kind of dude. They even mention it in the film, like, oh, he's the new Loomis.
Yeah, like he took over once Dr. Loomis passed away, and he's a bit of a nut job. I mean, Dr. Loomis, of course, was, you know, he wasn't all there.
Iconic.
But he's iconic, and I think that this guy maybe was trying to be the iconic character. I don't know.
Not that he was trying to be. I just thought I felt like they should have gotten somebody else to play that role. Put it to you that way. I wasn't crazy about the new Loomis.
And of course, we can't talk about the cast without mentioning
the main character, the
Michael
star
Myers.
of the show.
So James Jude Courtney, and we have some scenes that were done by Nick Castle. Michael Myers in this movie is freaking brutal.
Yeah,
he is fantastic. I mean, he's been locked up for 40 years now, and you know, he's
back with a vengeance.
Self, and he's taking names.
Yeah, kicking ass, taking names. He does a really good job. I mean, if I could do a good job, throw a mask on me, I'll walk around with a knife. I'll be fantastic.
But there's a certain presence that he has. I mean, the way that he presents himself, you know, as Michael Myers. And, you know, this has to do with the cinematography, the shots of him and everything. It was almost like watching the 1978 one.
Yeah, basically where we're getting at is this was a very, very good slasher. It was awesome to see in the theaters again. But overall, what is this movie? In my opinion, it's a remake of the 1978 Halloween, just updated in a little bit in today's day and age with today's humor and whatnot. And that's really all it is to me. I thought everything was done really, really well. I don't have much to complain about in this film, but it doesn't really... I left the theater a little underwhelmed. That's all I'm trying to say.
I was very... not overwhelmed, but I was very whelmed. I was very satisfied with watching it. And I think that, you know, I just watched the original one, and of course nothing is ever going to beat that. But this one does a damn good job at not only like paying tribute to that one, but, you know, it does mirror a lot of its scenes and everything. And it was just, I think it's a nostalgia thing. It really is.
Oh,
but
for sure.
It was done very well. And I mean, I will watch this one again, but I will always turn to the original first.
Of course. What they're doing is kind of like with Creed, what the film Creed did with Rocky, with like you rebooted the franchise.
I wouldn't know because I didn't watch any Rocky movies.
Yeah, I know, I'm doing a horrible job. But it's kind of like Creed, where they're introducing the character to a newer generation, kind of like The Force Awakens. How that it's kind of the same movie, but it's different. You know, it's kind of that thing going on.
I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Once you said The Force Awakens, I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know,
it's
same
kind of like
movie,
that.
just updated and some things switched around here and there. But overall, you can't really complain about it. It's just a solid movie.
It was, yeah. I mean, I think I might want to go see it again.
Yeah,
I really had a great time with it. I was entertained from the beginning to the end.
Oh, yeah.
And just the nostalgia factor alone for me is what really brought me in. And I was saying afterwards that if John Carpenter hadn't done the music for this, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. The fact that they brought him back, he did the soundtrack, the score was fantastic.
That's probably my favorite character in this film is the score. You can't help but get pumped up when you see Michael Myers walking around the neighborhood. You see trick-or-treaters walking by.
And they're playing
you just
their
hear
music,
that
yes.
classic John Carpenter music. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, and it's gonna suck you in every time.
I think that was definitely my favorite part of the movie, was that, like, I got goosebumps hearing it and kind of seeing it up on the big screen. It was great.
I also love how they show him getting the mask, getting his weapons. It's very old school looking. It felt you felt like you were watching the old film in some aspects.
So we can talk about how nostalgic it was for us all day long, but what are we grading this thing?
I'm gonna grade it a very solid B. I really don't have much to complain about. because I don't really have anything I can really nitpick about. Overall, it was just a really fun, great slasher that has great throwbacks to the whole franchise, not just the original. And yeah, I left the movie kind of like, oh, that's it. I don't know. For them to erase the whole franchise, I felt like they really had something up their sleeves, like something a little different. And it was pretty much more of the same. I guess, I don't know what I was expecting, but it didn't reach that, that holy shit level I wanted it to. Overall, just a very solid, awesome October flick.
So I'm going to give this a solid A. I had a fantastic time with it. I really, I was just mesmerized watching it up on the screen. There were so many Easter eggs from the first one. Some of the scenes were kind of shot frame by frame, and I loved it. It's definitely a nostalgic thing, but yeah. I really had a great time with it. I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah, definitely. It'll definitely be fun to rewatch again on Blu-ray on 4K.
Definitely.
All right, guys, so thank you so much for checking out our review of Halloween 2018. Let us know down in the comments, were you overwhelmed? Were you underwhelmed? Let us know where you fall between this.
And let us know what your favorite Halloween sequel is, or if it's the original one.
Or your favorite Michael Myers. Let us know in the comments down below. I will tell you right off the bat, I'm a fan of Rob Zombie's original Halloween. Haven't seen the sequel in a long time. I know that gets a lot of flack. But I still think, till this day, Rob Zombie's Halloween from the first one is the most brutal and the most badass.
Well, I mean...
And he's probably my favorite depiction of Michael Myers, besides, of course, the original Nick Castle.
All right, whoa. All right, that was a whole lot in one sentence.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
My favorite sequel is actually the one that doesn't have Michael Myers. Season of the Witch is one of my favorite sequels. We're not going to rank the whole series, but
that's not
those are our favorites. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this review as always, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you guys later.